Hey learners, hope you all are doing well. Before starting with today's session, I would like to congratulate and thank you all. We have reached our first 500 subscribers within very short period of time. It's all because of your love and support. Hope you continue the same and will assure you to provide more and more better content. So without wasting time, let's continue with today's session. In our last session of Programming Python series, we discussed for and while loop. Today, we are going to discuss transfer statement. Now, transfer statement are for transferring the flow of execution from one point in the code to some other point. Now, there are two types of transfer statement provided in Python. One is break, another is continue. And there is one more statement coming under this category, that is pass, which we cannot say actually it's a transfer statement. You can say it's like a no operation. We'll come to that topic discussion later. We'll first start with a break statement. Now remember, first necessary condition, that break statement can only be used in a loop. Means if I use a break statement in a simple if, it is not illegal, but the if should be enclosed within a loop. So that is the necessary criteria. So if you write a break in a simple if, but if that if is not enclosed in a loop, Python interpreter will give an error. So the first necessary criteria is break statement is used in loops. Now what is the function of break statement? So as I said, within a loop body, during execution, if the Python interpreter encounters break, it will simply transfer the flow of execution from that point to the statement which is immediately outside the loop body. And all the statements which are after the break in a loop body are unexecuted. So to repeat, while executing loop body, if the interpreter encounters break statement, it just transfers control to the statement immediately outside loop body, leaving all the other statement inside the loop body unexecuted. Now I'm trying to show you pictorially how this functions. So at the beginning, the loop condition is tested. If the loop entry condition is false, it will simply move to the statement which is immediately after the loop body. But if the loop test is coming out to be true, so it will enter in the loop body. Now in the loop body, if it encounters break, then also it will terminate the loop from that point itself and it will come out of the loop body. Otherwise, it will continue executing remaining statement and then come back again to the entry point of the loop. So you can say it is like premature termination. Means suppose if you want to terminate the loop prematurely, then you can use break. And remember, whenever break is not encountered and the loop condition is coming out to be false, so we'll say the loop is terminated maturely. Let's see a small illustration. I equal to 1, I have initialized. Then a loop entry condition is I less than equal to 10. Inside the loop body, I'm checking whether I is equal to 5. If yes, break. Otherwise, print the value of I and increment I by 1. Now if we execute this loop, it will print till 4 because till I equal to 4, this condition was not false. But when it has printed 4, after 4 I becomes 5. It come back to the entry point. 5 is less than equal to 10. But when it come inside and check I equal to 5, yes, I is equal to 5. So it will break the loop and come outside the loop body. I hope you understood the illustration of break. Now let's continue with the second transfer statement, that is continue. Now similar to break, continue is also having the same criteria. You can use continue only inside the loop body. Means suppose if you are using continue in a if statement and if is not part of a loop, Python interpreter will give error. Now what is the functioning of a continue statement? Again, to recall, continuous statement is used in loop. Now, break is totally complement of continue, or you can say continuous complement of break. Now, in a loop body, during execution, if the Python interpreter encounters continue, it will simply skip the remaining statement in the loop body and it will transfer the flow of execution to the beginning of loop, meaning it will again come to the entry point of the loop. To again recall, there is a difference between a break and a continue. When break is encountered, the flow is transferred outside of the loop body, whereas a continue is encountered, it will skip the remaining statement in the loop body and the control is transferred to the beginning of the loop body. I'll explain it with a flow chart. Before that, we'll just recall again. While executing loop body, if the interpreter encounters continuous statement, it transfers control to the beginning of the loop. Beginning of the loop means it will come again to test the loop entry condition. Or you can say it continues with the next iteration and skips the rest of the statement in the loop body. As a flow chart I've shown, it will test for the expression. Now at the entry, if the test expression is false, it will directly continue with the remaining part after the body of the loop, irrespective it is a while loop or a for loop. But if the test expression is true, it will come inside and check whether there is a continuous statement. If it is a continuous statement, it will come directly to the entry, skipping the remaining statement in the loop body. But if it's not continue, execute the remaining body of the loop and come back again to the test expression. So you can see that whenever continue is encountered, the remaining body of the loop is skipped or bypassed. Let's see a small illustration. I've initialized I to 0. Then the entry condition of the loop is I less than equal to 10. Inside the loop body, I'm incrementing I by 1. Then I'm testing whether I is equal to 5. If yes, continue. Otherwise, print I. Now, if you try to run this code, it will display 1 to 10 except 5. Why? Because when I becomes 5, the control come back to the beginning of the loop, skipping the print statement. Therefore, this loop will display everything from 1 to 5 except 5. I guess you got it. Because when I becomes 5, the continue statement continued to the beginning and this print statement is skipped. So it skips printing 5. I hope you got this continued discussion. Let's discuss with the last part, that is pass statement. Now the third part in the flow transfer statement we are going to see is pass statement. Now whenever in a code we are supposed to write a block of statement as it is a part of syntax, but actually you don't want to write any statement in that block, then you use pass as a substitute. You can say pass is like a no operation statement. So to recall again what I said, if in the code you're supposed to write a block of statement as it is a part of the syntax, but actually you don't want to write any statement in that block, then replace that empty block by pass. In other languages, we leave open brace, close brace, and the body inside that open brace, close brace is empty. But here in Python, we have to substitute that empty block by a pass statement. I'll give you some illustration where we can make use of pass statement. So as I said, if a block is compulsory to be added, as the syntax says like that, because according to the syntax, we have to write a block. But in that block, I don't want to write any statement. But logically, you don't want to perform any task. Then replace that block by pass. You can see that English word itself means pass means just skip it or don't do anything in place of that statement. I'll give you some illustration. Now we haven't started with how to write functions, user-defined functions in Python, but I guess like you have some basic knowledge about programming, or if you don't have, just remember how to write a user-defined function. We use def word and then the name of the function and then round bracket, colon is very important according to Python. Now I want to leave this function body empty. Then we have to use pass. Now don't worry guys, we have a separate session on functions, user defined functions, library functions. We'll be discussing in detail about how to write our user defined functions. Here I just wanted to tell you the illustration of pass. So if you want to write a function without a body, use pass. Now for example, in a loop, I want to skip some part in the loop. Then I can use continue also, I can use pass also. See, for example, I equal to 1. Then in the test condition, I less than equal to 10. Then I'm checking whether I is not equal to 5. If I is not equal to 5, I'm printing I. Otherwise, I'm writing pass. Now, remember that if I is not equal to 5, it will display I. Otherwise, it will not do anything. Now in this code, we have forgot to write I equal to I plus 1. Then a third example I am showing, that is, I want to write my own user defined data type. That is, I want to create my own class, but I want to keep the class body empty. Then also pass is at your help. So we'll write class name, colon, and then leave the word pass. So I guess you got the application of pass. So that's all for today, guys. In the next session, we'll discuss about built-in data types which are provided and some immutable and mutable objects like string, list, tuple, dictionary, set, and their methods. As always, keep learning, keep evolving, and don't forget to click on the bell icon. Please subscribe, like, share with your friend. See you in the next session. Thank you.